Well, there's an old adage that Democrats fall in love and Republicans fall in line. For years, Democrats went for presidential candidates who came out of nowhere, like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. Republicans nominated the people who were kind of next up and had paid their dues. But the last few years, we've seen that script flipped, and Democrats have fallen in line behind Joe Biden, who's had a 5-decade career, whereas Republicans, they fell in love with Donald Trump, but that has at times hurt them, as in 2018 and 2022, the last two midterm elections, when he's not been on the ballot, and Republicans have paid a penalty for their association with him without the benefits of his ability to gin up turnout. So what we saw was a very narrow House margin where Republicans retook the House by just 9 seats. And as a result, it took 15 ballots for Republicans to elect a Speaker of the House. That has big consequences for how Washington's going to govern these next 2 years. This is going to be a momentous year for ag policy because the Farm Bill is up to be rewritten. It expires in September. And so we have a new chair of the House Ag Committee, Glenn Thompson from Pennsylvania, who is well liked on both sides of the aisle. The same is true of the Senate Ag Chair, Debbie Stabenow of Michigan. However, it's really going to come down to Republicans' ability to marginalize those on the farther right end of their conference in the House who want major changes to parts of the Farm Bill. In the past, we've seen the Freedom Caucus push for deep cuts to the nutrition title and SNAP, and we expect those battles to play out again this year. Now, it's a little bit different this time because unlike the last time when Republicans had a majority in the House, there are going to be 3 Freedom Caucus members on the Rules Committee. So that could dictate which amendments come up for a full vote of the House, some of which could be poisonous to the Farm Bill's overall chances of passing. But the Ag Committees still do work on a more bipartisan basis than most other committees in the House. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu, so the saying goes. But what a lot of people don't realize is that by the time you tune in to politics in the fall of a major election campaign, it's already too late to influence what happens. And most of the action in congressional politics is in primaries these days. And so obviously it's important to stay engaged with your lawmakers, but also realize that those who step out into more of a bipartisan role are at risk from the extreme ends, either on the left or the right. And so those primary campaigns can really dictate which type of Republican or Democrat emerges. For example, in southern Minnesota, there was a special election in 2022 to replace a lawmaker who had passed away. It was a very close Republican primary between someone who was very close to ag and commodity groups, Brad Finstad, and someone who would have joined the House Freedom Caucus. That could be a pivotal vote now in Farm Bill negotiations to come.